Hi, I'm Jason from StrataGames, and today we're playing some Jeskai Synth in Pauper. This is basically Boros Synth, but of course we're trying out the new Cryogen Relic, so we're splashing blue for that and for Thoughtcast. Cryogen Relic has a million applications, but the one that interests me the most, I've already shown on the channel, and I'm going to show it again, is using it with Glint Hawk and Core Skyfisher. Bouncing it back to your hand will draw you an additional card, and you can replay it so you can get even more cards. Relic is very similar to Synthesizer. It costs an extra mana, obviously it's blue, and it has a, I would say, worse sacrifice ability, but it draws you the card instead of putting it into exile, which means that you can save it for later if you want. Now, we are still playing Synthesizer, so we've kept everything in the deck to be ideally 2 mana or less, so that we'll be able to cast it most of the time. I am playing Thoughtcast as well. Since we're splashing blue, might as well splash a little bit more. I was trying to think of other blue cards to include in the deck, and honestly, the other ones that are being included in other decks I don't think fit here as much. Metallic Rebuke or Abjure, we would need way too many blue permanents for, but any counter spells are not going to work with our Synthesizer, so we can't really afford to put those in. Kenku Artificer just being 3 mana, I don't really love. With the Synthesizer, I like everything being 2 or less. So this is what I ended up with, just these 4. I know the Boros Synth can already draw so many cards, but with Cryogen Relic and also Thoughtcast, I think we're going to be able to draw even more cards, so I went the Cleansing Wildfire route with this deck. I don't know if that's the right call, but I feel like we are going to be able to draw so many cards that we're always going to have something to play, and I feel like the little bit of ramp can be pretty helpful there. Because of that, we're playing several basics, 6 basics. I kind of did a Jund Wildfire type base, but only 2 Perilous Landscape because we are very hip intensive. So many 1-drops that I didn't want to have too many landscapes. So we also have some Great Furnaces, some Ancient Dens, and of course our 8 red bridges as you do with Cleansing Wildfire. I'm playing 5 Inspectors. That's really all I could fit in the deck. And of course we want to have some creatures other than just our Glint Hawks and our Core Skyfishers to be able to beat down for some damage, because we are kind of a burn deck as well. We have 4 Galvanic, 4 Lightning Bolt, so we can absolutely just sandbag these, deal our opponent a whole bunch of damage at the end step. I'm playing 2 Krark Clan Shaman. We don't have any combos, Toxin Analysis, or anything, but Elves, White Weenie, or even having to wipe 3 or 4 of our own artifacts to wipe the board of an opponent's walls or something like that can be pretty good. So we're playing 2 of those, and anytime I play a deck like this, I always want to include at least 1 makeshift munition, so we're doing that as well. For our sideboard, we're playing Dust to Dust, just the best card to get rid of your opponent's artifacts. Of course, it is 3 mana and double white, so we're gonna, if we side these in, need to be a little bit more careful with our Synthesizers, just something to keep in mind. 4 Blue Blasts and 3 Pyroblasts, 2 Relics of Progenitus, and 2 Navigator's Compass. Honestly, I wanted to fit in more Relics, I wanted to fit in more Compass, I would like more Pyroblasts, but it just, there was not enough room to fit everything in. It's possible that we could put Relics in the main deck, 1 or 2. I know Boros does that a little bit. I'm not opposed to putting some Navigator's Compass in the main deck, but since I'm playing the Cleansing Wildfires already, I don't think I need the fixing as much, which means that this becomes only really an important card against burn, and obviously that's what it's in the sideboard for. So we're going to take this into a league and see how we do right now. All right, we're on the draw here. This hand looks fine. We have turn 2 Wildfire to find our white source, and from there, no extra red for our synth could be a bit of a problem, but we're definitely not going to ship this hand away. The problem with making synth 3 colors is, of course, you generally want to have all 3 of your colors available when you play the synth, which can make things a little bit tricky, but obviously Mardu Synth exists and is not a bad deck. So ideally we'll be okay. We're against something green, which could be scary. If it is elves or something, we have Krark Clan Shamans. Looks like Gruul. Suplex in the main deck is good to know about. I was going to say if it's Ponza, we have indestructible bridges, but Suplex we can't do anything about if they find one. They take the Wild Growth. We do get to Wildfire here, and we get a Rustveil Bridge, which is nice because that's another red. But I think we're going to still Wildfire on white here, so that next turn we can play a white spell. Draw another Wildfire. I don't hate that either, especially we might actually use it against their Wild Growth if we really want. I hate not getting our land, but depending on what they do, we might want to get rid of it. They have an Acid Moss, so yeah, that's annoying for sure. I guess that kind of makes it so we want to... They have 5 mana, they're going to have 6 mana potentially. So I could cut them back down to 5, but I also kind of need to get more lands on my side, especially if they blow up more of them. So I think we are going to Wildfire again on our own. We're going to get white, blue, black, red. So I think we'll get another red here, or no, another white in case they blow up our planes. Sure. We draw an Ancient Den. I could just play that and play an Inspector, but I think I'd rather get another red and also just another indestructible land down. Of course, they could just Boarding Party here, and that's going to be problematic. Arbor Elf. Makes me kind of wish I had blown this up, but what are you going to do? Acid Moss, I mean, that's not necessarily the worst thing. Maybe it's not as bad as if they had Chrysalis here. Thoughtcast. So I think I'm going to bolt this, which means I'm not going to have another red available. So I actually don't think I want a synth here. I think I want to Ancient Den, that's 3 artifacts. Inspector is 4, so I can Thought Cast for 1. And then I am wasting a mana here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They already have 6 mana, so does it really matter? I could save it for like a boarding party or something. All I have to do here is crack a clue, because I don't really want to Skyfisher back a Thraben Inspector. So, question is, does cutting this off really matter? I mean, it does make it so they could play 2 4-drops, which could be annoying. I guess, seeing as they're already at 6 mana, I don't think it's worth it. If I could also blow up the Wild Growth lands this turn, maybe I would. Take them from 8 back to 5, but maybe this gives them an Altasaur that they couldn't do otherwise, but I don't know. There's an Arbor Elf and the Altasaur, so maybe I should have, but I don't know. Saga Wildling, I mean, I can take that out with the Bolt. We're just going to crack our clue. Another Thought Cast and a Wildfire. Okay. It might be worth Wildfiring their land because it cuts them back 3 mana because the Arbor Elves. I could Bolt this. We're going to get run over by this Altasaur a little bit. I mean, we could certainly take a hit, but we have to get some creatures down or find some more burn or something. So we'll start with the Wildfire. Galvanic Blast. Okay. And we're playing this land. Galvanic Blast plus Inspector next turn could, like, trade with the Altasaur. We'll just bolt the Wildling. And... or I could just play a Core Skyfisher. I don't really want to pick up a land, though, so I'd be picking up an Inspector. Doesn't really matter too much, but it's just getting something down. Yeah, I guess we'll do it. Using our mana more efficiently. I feel like we have so much value, but we're going to have trouble deploying it all. Avenging Hunter. I mean, it's good to have a flyer then. They kind of have to leave back the Altasaur or just accept that I can take the initiative, which I wouldn't hate, because I can Galvanic down the Hunter. I can't stop the Altasaur from coming through, though. They do just pass. Okay. Bridge. I think I'm going to have to accept that they're going to keep the initiative this turn. So what can I do to deploy the most stuff? Probably... I need this Skyfisher down, so do I want to Synth Skyfisher or just Relic? I think we will Synth for the mana efficiency. Lightning Bolt, well, we can use that. Skyfisher, back the Synth, in case we get a land or like a white 1-drop. Galvanic Blast. I can only use one of those. And I guess by doing this, I'm forcing myself to use the Blast now on the Hunter, which means they can put the stuff here or make one of these bigger. But I think that's fine. Take out the Hunter. Inspector. Seeing as this is on blocking duty at the moment, maybe they won't even care about it. Maybe they'll throw it on the Arbor Elf or something. Maybe they'll scry. But that seems unlikely. Yeah. Make the Altasaur bigger. And they have a Chrysalis. Swing with the Altasaur. And they have another Hunter. Okay. That's pretty annoying. Another Galvanic Blast. I mean, I guess 2 of those can take out the Altasaur. We need so much red here, and we only have 3. Which maybe is because we haven't sacrificed the landscape earlier. Maybe just the mana base. Okay, well, I could, like, potentially double block the Hunter with Skyfishers, double bolt, double blast the Altasaur. I think we'll draw 2 with the Thought Cast. I mean, I don't hate the land. I guess we're playing an Inspector and just passing, bracing for impact. If they do attack with everything and don't really have anything else, like if they have a Hydra or something, we're in a bad spot. Another Hunter. Well, can't do anything about that. So they get the Throne. It's going to try to interrupt them getting the last one if they attacked and we can wipe their guys, but that's not going to help. They get a boarding party with 3 counters. Well, we can chump it, but that's not my favorite. And they just Thermokarst my Ancient Den. Kind of rude, to be honest. Alright, we chump here. We double block here. I double blast this. I go to 3. We could take back we can take the initiative with one of these. But we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys to deal with. Yeah, not great. Maybe if we can get, like, Card Clan Shaman, we could survive here. Wipe the board, lose just about everything, but if we take the initiative, maybe that's okay. I think for that reason we're just drawing as opposed to cracking the landscape or anything. Bridge and a Bolt. Bolt does not do us really much good. Let's Synth. There's the Krark. So we need 6 to wipe their board. Take the initiative. We have 6 artifacts on board right now. We could play a 7th. Well, we could play another with this, so we don't have to lose all of our lands. So let's play Relic here. We draw the second one. Amazing. I can get a land off of this that I can play. I don't really want to wipe until their combat. We could get punished if they have like a crew shock, but they haven't been playing that as much, especially with Ponza. But I don't want them to be able to boarding party and stuff. So we're definitely casting this guy. We're definitely taking the initiative. Pulling out maybe just another red. I mean, we're about to sacrifice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we'll get a mountain. Okay. I could play a synth just so that it's another thing to sacrifice that's not a land. And I could play a land here. I think we do that. 8, so I can keep 2 lands, so I'm at 4 lands. That's probably enough that I want to keep synth in hand. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's, we're passing. Alright, we are sacrificing 6 of these guys. Synth. Let's see what we get off of that. It's a Skyfisher, what a waste. Sack the relic. We get a synth. Okay, so that's 3, 4, 5, and I'll probably keep the second white. 6. I guess if they have any way to keep any of these alive with like a crew shock, we do have a bolt to finish it off, so not quite dead there. But that worked. Arbor Elf and an Acid Moss. Okay, I mean, that's not the worst thing ever. I think I'll just bolt this guy. Maybe I should have just... I could have a blocker for it, but it prevents an Altasaur. No, it doesn't, because they just pull out a forest. Maybe I shouldn't have in case they get a boarding party and I want to deal with that, but oh well. Initiative. I think we just forge and go for the speed here. Thoughtcast. Let's... Do we want a synth? Yeah, I think we do. We're gonna whiff on anything white here, but that's okay. Yeah, it happens. It gives us our 3rd artifact, so we can play a Krark and then also a Thoughtcast. So I think I'm okay with it. And if they don't top deck very well, we can potentially finish them off here. Utopia Sprawl is amazing. Initiative's gonna trap them. Skyfisher is great. Let's start with a synth. The extra artifact and stuff. Bridge is nice. Then we'll Thoughtcast. Glint Hawk. We can attack for 5. And then either of these that we play will make it so we have lethal next turn. So we'll just do Skyfisher. Yeah, we waste the synth, but I'm okay with that. We wasted 2 Glint Hawks. Alright, super touch and go there. But we were able to take it out because of the main deck Krarkland Shaman, which is very nice to have. Which is great because I was thinking about it and realized we don't really have a sideboard against our opponent here. Life gain is bad, graveyard hate's bad, red and blue hate is bad, and artifact stuff's bad. So we're just running the main deck again and hoping that we do the same thing. This is honestly slightly tempting because of the fact that they're Ponza. But we don't do anything till turn 3, and then we play a draw 2. I don't think that's going to do it, unfortunately. This one's a lot better. We can take out an Arbor Elf this way. So, yeah. Get rid of one of these planes. Start with a Sprawl. We're going to bridge. It's not susceptible to normal destruction, but obviously we knew they had Suplex's main deck, and I'm sure they have some Deglammers or something in the sideboard. So, not counting on this surviving. Oh, look, there's the Cast of the Fire. But they had nothing else, which means if we can survive with this bridge, maybe I should have landscaped, honestly, because if I landscape, they couldn't blow it up, and then I can blow up theirs. Ooh, which means that they're stuck on 1? Is that better than me just ramping? I think so. If they don't have anything for 2, they're not going to have anything for 1, right? Maybe this is getting too cute, but it seems kind of good to me. Now I've become the Ponza. Because now even if they draw Malevolent Rumble or something, it's not great, but... Well, they drew their second land, but still can't play anything. Yeah, I think we just play a Relic and an Inspector. A lot of burn. I mean, we can maybe just get the burn win in this one. They don't have a 3-drop either. I love that. Relic... Kind of a tough call, but we really need more red mana, so I'm going to leave up the landscape. Nice. Love drawing a bridge there. Leave up the landscape so I can crack it for a mountain and just have a whole bunch of burn. Because we have 13 damage in hand. Unfortunately, not really another clock, or a fast clock, but there's a Chrysalis. It is possible I should sack this for an island, though, because if they get rid of this bridge, it's not good, but they clearly don't have a way to get rid of it at the moment, so... I guess I don't need to deploy all these this quickly. You know what? We will go for the safer route and take the island. Skyfisher's not bad. We're going to play that, pick up a Relic. Would love another land. Keep them coming. Synth. Feels like it's going to be a waste if I play it, so I think I'll just hold up Clue and Bolt. In case they like boarding party, I'd like to have a Bolt for it. I might also trade Skyfisher plus Bolt for the Chrysalis, though I do want to save as much as I can. Oh, maybe I should have just Galvanic to the Chrysalis right there, probably. Because if they play like a Hunter here, they're going for a boarding party, it looks like. I'm going to take out this Chrysalis while we can. I almost made a mistake. Well, I should have done it the first time, but luckily they gave us another chance right while there's the second Chrysalis, so what are you going to do? But that and the boarding party, we can take out the boarding party. I don't like that this burn's not going to face now, because I thought that would be a nice way to win, but they're deploying too many things that I think we just have to. That's kind of what they're there for anyway, so. Another bridge. Let's start with the Synth. Cleansing Wildfire. They don't have anything that's really good to hit, so I'll just get my own. But I don't hate that. More lands is good. This time we will grab a mountain, I think. I guess this is a third red, so maybe we'll take a third white here. I don't like that the Chrysalis, they had to expend their spawn, so back to 4 mana, but the boarding party gave them their 2 spawn back. That's pretty annoying to me. Looks like they got another boarding party, too. Lucky them. To a Thermokarst. Not the worst. Swinging with both. I could trade for the boarding party both of these, but I could just bolt the party. I don't really want to take 10, though. And I kind of need this flyer around for if they get a Hunter, so I think we're just going to chump. Makeshift is interesting. If I play that, I could bolt here. I can't quite bolt and makeshift this one down. So I think we're waiting a turn for that. Let's do a Synth. Bridge is fine. Guess we're playing a Relic. Another Skyfisher. But I want to hold up a Bolt for this. I guess there's not really a reason to hold this back, because we're bolting this and I'm not blocking here. And every point matters with the makeshift in hand. Bolt the party. They have a Suplex on the Skyfisher. That's not really that bad. Roost Seek a Wildling. Feels like they do have a Avenging Hunter and they're trying to set up so that I won't have a flyer. But I think we can accommodate that. I think we can have that flyer. Let's play Skyfisher. I don't know why I tapped the bridge there. Pick up the Synth. Land. I think we're gonna play the Synth again, or do I just want to play another Skyfisher? Pick up the other Synth. We'll still have 3 mana. We can play anything. Yeah, that's fine. Pick up Synth. And, well, it's another Synth. Sure, we'll play the Great Furnace. Leave up 2 mana. Well, it's an island. That's fine. So I could maybe just get down Makeshift here. I think that feels good, because we have a lot of damage we can start throwing. +4 in the air. I guess if they, like, land in boarding party, it's kind of annoying. If an Acid Moss, that's fine. I really don't mind them spending their turns doing that at this point. They are going to swing. I don't love taking it, but I don't think we're chumping either, so we're taking it. Cork is not bad. Obviously, we only have 6 mana here, so that's 6 damage. We could do 10 total. So we're starting with a Synth. Mountain. Let's hit him with another Synth. There's a Thraben. Relic. We have so many permanents. Play the Inspector. Swing for 4. And do I want to play the Shaman? It is susceptible to like a Cast of the Fire or a Suplex. The only thing I'm worried about would be like a boarding party, but I have a Bolt for that. I think we're going to just leave it. And end step here, we could do 4 damage with a Bolt and throwing like a Makeshift from Chump. So they're at 9, and then we untap. We have 4 flying, and we have 7, 8 more. We're in a good spot, I think. We'll block and fling at them. They have the Hunter. That's totally fine. We can take it. Plus, I think we could just kill them. Unless they use that play something. I guess Suplex or... So they have like a Deglamor for the Makeshift. We can't win right here. We have a Cast on the Fire on our bridge. That's totally fine. If I just throw that, they're at 11. Then we have 7. We hit for 4. We have a Bolt. So yeah, that should be lethal. We'll just throw that at them. But that's kind of all they had, I assume. So fair to give it a try. Play the Ancient Den. Swing for 4. Get our last planes. Throw a Bolt, and then draw a bunch off of these relics. Alright, that was a pretty sweet one. That first game being pretty tough, but then we got the Kark, and then this one played out pretty nicely. This hand looks decent. Against red, this deck's going to be a little slow for sure. I kind of want to play an Inspector to block this, but then we don't have anything on turn 2, unless I'm going to Glinthawk a Clue, which is honestly not a terrible idea. For value, I kind of want to wait and just play a Bridge and then Plains for the Relic, but I think we are gonna need to try to survive. Like, there's so much value in this deck. I don't need to like nickel and dime everything. As long as we're able to survive, I think we'll have enough value. Burning Tree, and I mean, this is gonna be probably at least a rally, yep, if not more, but having a blocker to kill one of these is nice. We do take 4, but we get rid of one of their guys. And then, yeah, I'm never going to be able to have the time to crack this clue anyway. So really, its only relevance is Galvanic Blast, and I'll get more artifacts. It'll be fine. And having a 2/2 here is pretty good, I think. If they just swing with these, I'll probably block the 2/1/1s, take 2. They might end up bolting the Glint Hawk. If they Bushwhacker, it's annoying because we'll lose our guys, but we might have to trade anyway. They do Galvanic the Hawk, and then Tomb Raider. It's annoying. Well, we're going to take 5, but keep blocking the 1/1s for now. Careless Landscape. It's not great, but it's better than nothing because now I can Galvanic Blast and I can Skyfisher, but I'm going to pick up the Landscape because I don't want to lose a blocker. There's a Synth on an Epicure. Mountain Epicure puts us to 9. Bolt the Skyfisher. Swing. We're going to block the Percussionist and blast the Emissary. So we're at 7, and they get a Synth off the top. That's not great for us. Bolt is good, so we might have to do the same thing. Skyfisher, pick up a land. I really don't want to pick up a land. I think at this point maybe we pick up the Inspector and hold up the Bolt. So they will get in for 1 with the Epicure, but I think we need to keep our lands on the field if we're ever actually to get out of this. But I'll hold up the Bolt in case they find a way to kill the Skyfisher, so we won't take 3 from these guys. Synth into an Epicure, and there's an Emissary and the Epicure, so we're at 6. They're probably not going to swing here. I'm going to bolt anyway. Okay, they are. Nice. In that case, I will block here, bolt this guy. We don't take anything. Galvanic. I think here we're just playing a Relic and an Inspector. Bridge is good. Hoping they don't have much. We don't have much in the way of life gain in the main deck. In fact, I think we have none. So we're in a bad spot. They just have an Emissary, though. Oh, but I guess that can go into cracking a Synth, so that's a 2/2/2s. And a Percussionist off the top, but that's going to be a waste. Cast here. We do finally have 4 artifacts, so we can Thought Cast. More lands is not what we wanted. We're going to play a Bridge and hold up Galvanic and Clue Token. And they got a Bushwhacker. That's pretty lucky of them. Yeah. Okay, well, we have to trade here, and shoot this. We got a 1. Yep. Pretty much no way we're getting out of this, I don't think. We do get a Bolt, which I guess is a little bit better to use here. We draw a land. We can keep this tapped. Draw a card. It's a Shaman. Super late. Don't think that's going to keep us alive here. They're going to Reckless Abandon for 4 damage, and we're going to die. Alright, side, we do get 4 blasts and 2 compass. Munitions is slow. Everything's a little slow here, isn't it? I think we're just going to cut. We're going to cut a couple relics and a couple thought casts. Just some of the card draw that's a little bit more expensive. I mean, thought cast is 1, but we saw there it did not do us much good early. This hand's decent. We have our compass for life gain. Also, it can filter for red. So we actually have all our colors. And I think we'll just start with that. Great Furnace, Tomb Raider. Classic start. You get a Skyfisher. I could just play Skyfisher, pick up the compass. That means they have to bolt, and I have a blocker. I could just bolt the Tomb Raider, Blue Blast the first thing they play. Yeah, I think we're going to just hold up here, because if they go Burning Tree into Rally, it's pretty annoying. So I think we'll Blue Blast any Emissary we see. Percussionist is annoying. Don't know if it's annoying enough to really want to counter it, though. Compass onto the plains. Now it's a mountain. Bolt the Tomb Raider. And I guess for the sake of using our mana, we'll get rid of an Epicure, but probably the Percussionist would have been a better one. Synth. I could cast it, but I'd have to use this first, and that doesn't sound great. I could Skyfisher, pick with a compass. I feel like I have to draw cards. I'm still at 20 life, so let's just try to draw some. Third Skyfisher is not what I was looking for, though, unfortunately. They got a Synth into a Reckless Abandon. I mean, that's not bad, but I kind of don't hate that they're forced to sack their creature this turn. But the fact that it's a Percussionist is not bad for them either. We're going to be taking 4. They turn up a Galvanic Blast. They don't currently have artifacts for Metalcraft. They cast it anyway. They did have that until the end of the next turn, but that's okay. Glinthawk's not bad, but if I pick this up, unless I draw an untapped land, I'm wasting my mana anyway, so I think we're just Skyfishing for a Relic. I guess I could have Skyfished for the Plains, played the Plains, Glinthawked the Relic. That probably would have been better, especially because we didn't draw a land. Usually I catch that, but yeah, I would have liked to have deployed 2 of those this turn instead. There's a Rally, and another. Okay, we're down to 10. Blocking one of these guys. We do have the Krark to wipe them after, though. Might have to sack the Compass, though. Okay, Inspector helps, because I can play Inspector, so I can sack the Clue. Kind of wanted to Skyfisher land this time, then Glinthawk pick it up. I could do that, but I could also just play the blockers. Yeah, I think we're just gonna Inspector, make this a mountain, Krark, and swing. Now we wipe these guys away. They only have 2 cards in hand, so that's not terrible. They're gonna swing, and we're gonna use the Clue. They smash to smithereens the Compass. That is annoying, because I was just about to pick that up. So it puts us at 7. They have another Rally. They want to use it now so they can Synth next turn. Finally get a bridge, which means I don't want to Skyfisher a land now. So guess we'll just swing with the Inspector. I'm kind of fine with a trade if they really want to do that. But then we'll play a Skyfisher, pick it up. Maybe I should have just left them both back, played the Relic. That probably would have been a little bit better. But, Great Furnace is good for us. We need to find another Compass or another Blue Blast, ideally. So yeah, I should have Relic'd. I think this turn we are doing Relic and Glinthawk. Bolt is fine. Pick up the Relic. No land. They have the Bushwhacker. That's what I was worried about. We can take just 2 from this, though, and only lose our Glinthawk. It's not terrible. We know they can have at least 1 card that can deal 4 with the Reckless Abandon. So we could be at a virtual 1 here. They're going to pass. Let's see. No lands is really screwing this up. I could Relic into another Hawk. I could Synth. That doesn't feel great either. Maybe I just Skyfisher, pick up a land, then Relic. I think that seems best. And then I think I have to just hope they don't have more creature makers, and I just start attacking. Because if we hit for 4 now, and then 6 next turn, I guess we'd have to draw a Mountain and a Galvanic, or a Great Furnace and a Galvanic to be able to deal them lethal, which is not going to happen, probably. I guess Glinthawk could get us there. They have an Emissary. Do they have a Rally or a Bushwhacker? No. Okay, good for us. There's a Mountain. I mean, if we can get a Galvanic, I guess we'd still be short a land or an artifact. But a 2, actually, because I have to pick this up. Well, either way, I think we want to Glinthawk the Relic. Let's do that. There's the Galvanic Blast. Man, if this was a Great Furnace, no, I would still have to replay the Relic, and I wouldn't have the mana for it. But dang close still. Okay, so if we just survive, we can win next turn. So there's no reason to attack with anything, I think. We have 7 damage, so they're at a virtual 6. I guess if we don't attack with anything, and they get a Bushwhacker, that's fine. We might die to a Reckless Abandon if we don't kill their creatures now. I think I'm just taking that chance. I think we play the Relic so that we can maybe get to... Well, so that we can get to Metalcraft next turn. Compass. That's good. Actually, I'm going to play that because that can make it harder for us to die. And we have 7 damage. I still think we don't attack. I think it's probably safe to attack with 1 creature, but I just don't think we need to because we have the win if they just don't draw enough damage here. And they just played a Mountain, so I think we're going to be good. All right. That was a close one. Let's see if we can pull out the last game. Well, they are tempting me with the turn 1 Krark. Not really anything to sacrifice to it. If we just get a Plains, we're in a good spot. In fact, if we get any land, I can Wildfire, even if I have to turn like an island into a Plains. We're on the draw, and then we have a Synth, so we have 3 draws to find our second land. This would be such a punt if we keep and we don't get there. But then we can wipe for 1. You know, I'm gonna Hail Mary. I'm gonna give it a try. Opponent mulls to 5, so maybe we get a little bit of luck anyway. but we only have 2 Krarks in the deck, so starting with 1 in hand is just very good. They mulligan to 5, but they have the Great Furnace Tomb Raider, which is not great for us. Landscape is phenomenal, though. So that can be our plains. And I'm not actually playing the Krark turn 1, so yeah, let's just play that. Turn that into a plains. We can play like Inspector or something. Another Great Furnace and a Bushwhacker. They're not doing too bad considering their mulligan. We are at 13, but they only have 2 cards left, so we can still stabilize for sure. The other Krark? Okay. So I can just play Inspector, play the Krark, and then I can block the Inspector on the Tomb Raider, sack for 1 damage to everything, sack the clue that is, and then it'll kill the Tomb Raider. So that'll be a 2 for 2. It's not amazing, but it stops this. It also stops if they have any other rallies for the turn. And then we have another Krark if we need, so I think we're doing that. Or I could just do this. We have nothing else to play for this 1. We have 2 Krarks, though. If they do have a rally or another Bushwhacker, it's pretty bad if we don't have the Krark, so yeah, we're doing this for sure. I will say, if they just attack with these 2, I could also not use the Krark. They throw a Chain Lightning and the Inspector. Smart. Well, can't do anything about that. They swing with both, so I could block the Tomb Raider, sack the clue, we take no damage. I could just trade this with the Bushwhacker. We take 2, but we actually get to keep the clue, which could be relevant if I then want to use it for my other shaman, or I could then play Skyfisher, pick up the plains, Glint Hawk, pick up the clue. That doesn't seem unreasonable. I could also just not block and hold this up, but then once we've used the clue to get the Glint Hawk back, we have no artifacts, and this is basically useless. I think we're just trading here, as weird as it is. We don't have 2 artifacts to kill the Tomb Raider, otherwise we would try to do that probably. Relic, not super relevant at the moment. I think we just want some blockers. So Skyfisher, pick up the plains, Glint Hawk. The clue is pretty relevant here for the Krark. Not that we're going to crack it on its own, but I think getting these 2 out if they do have like a Bushwhacker or a rally is pretty good. They have a Chain Lightning to us, so we're at 8. Would love to get a Compass. They only have 1 card in hand, though. Great Furnace is not bad. That lets me Synth for anything that's not blue, which we only have 6 blue cards left in the deck. Plus, I could then Wildfire if I have nothing else. We're gonna Synth here. Also gives an artifact for later on this Krark, which we want. Galvanic's not bad. I think we just use that on the Tomb Raider because I don't want to waste it. And then do they have a... I thought Reckless Abandon was a sorcery. I think they have a Reckless Abandon because it looked like they just tried to use it. I think we swing... I really want to go aggro, but I think we just swing for 2. If they top deck a Tomb Raider, I really don't want to take that hit. If they top deck a rally, I'd like them to at least lose a guy. Same with the Bushwhacker. So, yeah. Okay, they had a smash, so it was not what I thought. They were going to use it on the Synth, but then wanted to wait until my end step, which makes sense. So I'm at 5, and we get rid of a Great Furnace. That's fine. 5's not great for me. Definitely need to find a Compass. Would be nice. Inspector. I think I'm going to play Krark, so we have some insurance. And I'm going to Wildfire my mountain into an island. So we have blue. If we get a blue blast or something, bridge isn't bad. And now I'm just going to start attacking. I mean, we don't have a lot of time. If they draw a second bolt, if they draw 2 bolts, that is, we're just going to die. But we at least have insurance against them going wide, which is their main strategy. There's a Tomb Raider. I mean, that is unfortunate because I don't really want to chump and I don't really want to sack both of these. But I don't want to go to 3 either. Had to be the Tomb Raider right after we swung. There's no way I can sacrifice both of these, but I don't think I can go to 3 either. So I guess we're just going to block. There's both Krarks down. And then Reckless Abandon. Well, I mean, we certainly had to block, and we did, but we're at 1. So we're dead to a million things. Synth gives us the best shot to draw something. I mean, Plains Crack a Clue gives us a chance to draw a Navigator's Compass. I should leave up blue, though, actually, because I could also get a blue Elemental Blast. It was neither. Well, by attacking, I die to a rally. But I think I need them to draw really poorly anyway, and I need the speed, so we're going to do that. They didn't draw anything there. We got a blue blast. I can't use this relic, because I need to hold this up, which means we're going to crack this for a blocker and see what's on top. Galvanic? Oh my gosh, that puts them to 1. What could they have drawn? It's probably just a mountain, right? A land? Or it could be another Reckless Abandon. Is there any reason to leave these back is the question. Any of these. I don't think I need to attack with both of these, or with this, because these are going to be pretty much lethal. Yeah, let's just swing for 4. Galvanic them to 2, and hope this Blue Blast carries us. Anything they draw that deals a single damage, we're going to have to use it on. Hopefully they won't have a second. They play a mountain, and they have a Lightning Bolt, but we have the counterspell. Wow, that was crazy close, but we were able to take them down. All right, we're on the play. This hand is not great. If we just have blue source, I would keep it. I mean, Novice Inspector can draw us a card. Okay, I guess we'll keep it anyway. It is a little rough. No bridges and 4 lands is kind of annoying. Maybe we shouldn't keep it because we're hoping for one more land for blue, but we also don't really want to draw more lands. But what are you going to do? Inspector makes any hand keepable. Frostforge Bridge. Jund or Affinity. Grixis, that is, are my assumptions. Attack for 1. Also kind of annoying because if we crack this clue, we lose our affinity for Thoughtcast, but we're also not going to not crack the clue unless we need to bolt for some reason here. Blood Fountain. Still could be either. We're going to draw a card. Another Inspector. Hawk is going to be good, but not at the moment. Let's just play another Inspector and get another clue. I'm going to guess Affinity. Oh, always wrong. Refurb is fine. We can get rid of a Plains here. We're going to pass. We'll draw. Quark is not going to be useful here. Skyfisher is not really where we want to be. If I attack, they just block. And they can get it back later. I think that's fine. I could just bolt it. Keep our guys and keep pressure up. I think we'll just let the trade happen if they want to do that, and they don't, so that's fine too. Well, we're going to get down this Skyfisher and replay an Inspector. Looking just like a bad Boros Synth draw right now. Cast down the Skyfisher. Okay. Should I just bolt this Familiar while they can't sack it? I think probably. Bolt isn't going to be able to kill a Chrysalis no matter what. It's not going to do anything against Nyxborn. I guess it could do something against their Krark, but that's not really the concern. So, yeah, there's the Chris. Cleansing Wildfire. Man, if we had a bridge. Let's just draw a card. Man, imagine how good a blue bridge would have been right there. I guess we just cleansing our own planes into an island so that we can Thoughtcast next turn. I really would just like to draw any synth or Cryogen Relic now that we're going to have blue so that I can start using these guys. Okay, I still didn't hate a bridge, and in fact it was the best bridge to draw because now it gives us 2 of each color and it gives us 4 affinity so we can Thoughtcast for 1 next turn. So we're in a fine spot. They haven't drawn a million cards, which is nice, but that could certainly change at any moment. Or they might just play another Chrysalis here. And they did. Well, Krark is not great against Chrysalis here because we don't have Death Touch, and so we're going to have to sack 7 artifacts, and we can get there, but we're pretty far away from that, especially artifacts we want to sacrifice. Great Furnace is fine. Let's Thoughtcast first. There's the Relic. Let's just play that. Synth isn't bad. So I guess I just Skyfisher and then Bridge here. I guess our goal with them having 2 enormous creatures is we just chump slowly and then try to get enough burn that we can burn them out and fly over them. It's going to be tough with no burn in our hand at the moment. Maybe I should have kept the Lightning Bolt, but they also would have hit us for some more damage, so I wouldn't like that. There's a Wellspring. We have a better Wellspring. This is so 2011 to 2024. Am I right? Swing with both. I mean, 4 is fine, but if they make it 12, that's kind of crazy. They're not going to make it 12, right? I guess we're going to take it. I mean, if I were them, I would certainly sack at least 2 of these probably for damage, but they could sack all of them if they have something to do with the mana. Yep, Fanatical, another one, and we'll take 8. Yep. I guess exactly. Play a Forest. We draw another Relic. We don't need that, but that's fine. Start with the Synth. Into a Glint Hawk is not bad. I guess we're going to be in real trouble if they get a Nyxborn Hydra now, because we did not block any damage. Lightning Bolt. Okay. I think we're going to Synth again. We still have some mana. Mountain. That's Mountain and Bolt. I could Glint Hawk. I can't play anything with white if I Synth. I could play a Relic and then pick that back up. Let's play a Mountain. Sure, let's Relic first. Bridge. 5, 6, 11. Yeah, I mean, a Nyxborn on this isn't quite lethal. So we're going to swing here. We're going to Glint Hawk. We're going to bolt them. And if we don't die and then maybe have some lucky draws, we can potentially burn them out next turn. They'll be at 11. We have 6 in the air, though. And if they have to leave back Chrysalises for that, too, that's not bad. Sack their landscape. Sack their spawn. Or Wellspring, okay. I think we're chumping both Chrysalises with the Inspectors, if they do swing with both. Unless they Krark them down first, that's going to be pretty annoying. Yup. Okay. And I wish we could give their Krark Death Touch. So 2 damage, then sack it. I mean, if they don't do too much else, and then swing with these, we chump with 1 Glint Hawk. We still only need to deal them an extra 7, which could be done with a Bolt and a Galvanic. They have like a couple refurbs too. It's going to be, yep, pretty tough though. And they cast 1 down. We have to chump with 1. Okay, so now we have to find 2 Galvanics and a Bolt, pretty much. Out of 1, 2, 5. I mean, it's possible. It's definitely possible. That's not one though. We might end up playing Krark as a draw engine, sack a bunch of synths to it, and relics. But start with the synth, we get a plains. I don't think we're playing that. We need to preserve our red after that, because it's our only out, I believe. So let's relic. We got a bridge. Okay. If I Krark and sack all 3 of these, and it's Galvanic, Lightning Bolt, we can still win here. So let's do that. Crack a synth. It's a thought cast. I think that already means we can't do it, but let's keep going. Synth. It's a Skyfisher. Let's crack the relic. It's an Inspector. Man, not even trying to fake us out. Let's thought cast. I mean, I guess I could theoretically just block these and maybe survive and try again. I guess we might as well not give up. Let's play a plains, play an Inspector, and Skyfisher. I mean, I guess I was going for the we're gonna die if we don't do anything play. I could also play a Krark and then sack another 4 artifacts and keep these dead. We can get them back, but that's slowly. I guess I should probably do that. That gives us a better chance of winning. I should have just sacked 4 artifacts then in the first place. I was a little too focused on that, I think, which is my mistake. And am I going to play a Glint Hawk after? No. I think I want to save that. Oh, also I played an Inspector first, like an absolute idiot. But I'm very, I'm very scattered here. I don't think we're using this white. It's our only second white, so I'm taking this or this. I guess we should get rid of this clue, actually. So I should have kept the second white. Y'all, I definitely know what I'm doing, okay? I've played this game at least once before. That was absolutely the most efficient way to do that, and I couldn't have done it better myself. They play a Wellspring. Map onto the refurb, they hit a swamp like a loser. I gotta show them how it's done, being better at the game and all. They map onto it. Oh, now they get an offering. Lucky. Discard a bridge to the blood, and they don't even attack. I guess wanting a removal spell for this instead, which is fair. We get another relic. Start with one of those. There's a Galvanic Blast. Man, imagine if I hadn't played that last turn like a fool. We still have a shot here. We're not... I don't think we're going to use this. We have to save the Galvanic Blast for them, I think. So I think we might as well just play a relic here again. We also have a million lands we need to draw into something, but we're trying to draw to removal spells, burn spells as quickly as possible. I don't think... I could attack. You know what? If I attack, they can get a cast down for this, and they could hit for 3, but that's not lethal. If they get a Nyxborn, we're dead either way. If they get another Fanatical Offering into a map, they could maybe hit us for lethal, but they've already gone through 3 offerings. I think we do attack. Because if we can also hit them with this over the course of 2 turns, I actually only need 1 more bolt. We can get them. So I think it seems reasonable, but could be a mistake for sure. They incite the Wellspring. Yep, and they do have the Hydra. Well, we're dead to that either way. Okay, we get to bring in our Dust to Dusts. Relic I don't think is necessary. It's possible getting a Blue Blast in for a potential makeshift munitions isn't terrible, but we don't really die that bad to a makeshift. Like, it's not great, but it's fine. Krark is kind of our only out to that Chrysalis situation, so I don't know if we really want to take all of them out. I think Burn is definitely if not our main game plan, our backup. Munitions doesn't feel necessary. I guess if we go late, it's also a nice win con with the burn. Actually, maybe we do keep it. Inspectors, refined chump blockers. I don't really want to cut card draw. Do I just cut inspectors? We're lowish on creatures, high on card draw. We're just trying to find burn. It's not terrible. Wildfire is good. It's so much. I think we probably want to keep in. I think we'll cut down on a little bit of our card draw. We have so much. Almost too much for a deck, you might say. Oh, what a beautiful hand. Dust to Dust, not bad, but no white sources. And Thoughtcast can't even play on turn... Well, I could play on turn 3 for 3 mana. No, this looks terrible. This one looks much better. We have a potential to Dust on turn 3. This hand's still not great. But we're going to get rid of 1 Synth, I think. Although I could Synth as trying to get a land. In which case, maybe I want to throw back the Munitions, which I can shuffle back in with a Wildfire, so it doesn't take forever to draw. I think actually we get rid of the Munitions here. Start with Mountain and pass. There's a bridge. Another land isn't bad. Oh, it's tough. If they go with another bridge, obviously I'd love to dust them right away. The only way we're going to do that is if we naturally draw another untapped white source, or I could Synth here, potentially hit a bridge. If we hit a lot of things, it's just a waste. But we do have 2. I think we got to at least wait until we have 2 mana, even if we don't have blue mana. Let's just pass here. Play the plains in case we do get lucky. They have the Slagwoods Bridge. Come on, plains off the top, or Ancient Den. Cleansing Wildfire. Well, I don't want a Wildfire right now, and we don't have that many blue spells, so we're going to chance it on a Synth. And now we get the Ancient Den, which I don't hate, although playing it means I can't play anything else this turn. But we're not going to waste it, obviously, because we want to Dust to Dust, so a little annoying, but I'll take it. Unfortunately, this means they have another turn to play a land, plus potentially Cleansing Wildfire, in which case it's not going to be as devastating to Dust them. But Landscape's only 1 color of mana and nothing else. Okay, we're definitely going to do it then. Another Synth. They don't even have black to sacrifice these, so this will be pretty good for us, I think. They started floating a green as if they wanted to, like, Pulse a Marasa, but unfortunately for them, the only way they'd have a land in their graveyard is if they sacrifice the landscape, but then they wouldn't have 3 mana to Pulse, so could not do that. And they get a forest out of that. Definitely wanting their green, I see. Vault of Whispers. All right, this has given us plenty of time to do some stuff. Another Dust to Dust. I mean, can't use it yet, but I'm not hating that. We'll start with the Synth, again, hoping not to hit blue, but gotta take some risks. Ancient Den is fine. So I think we're gonna Wildfire our plains now. Annoying that I'm not hitting any bridges, obviously, but I would like to have blue for when we do draw those cards. Galvanic Blast, and I mean, we're not doing as much as I would like, seeing as we need to take advantage of their situation, but if they just play another artifact land, we will definitely take them away. Bojuka Bog is fine. They're passing back. Skyfisher's a nice draw. We're going to start with that. Picking up a Synth then. Flip a Makeshift. We're going to definitely use that. They're going to cast this down in response. That's fair. Nothing for them to play it is great news for us. Landscape's not bad. Start with the Synth. Bridge is fine. Okay, I'll just play the bridge. Cycle the landscape. I guess I might as well do that now. If we get an Inspector, we can play it. I don't want a Glint Hawk with no mana, but hey, we got an Inspector. Nice. Even just a little bit of damage while they're stalled is not bad. Seeing as we have 8 in hand, plus everything we can throw at them with the Makeshift. They got a bridge. We're obviously going to dust them, and that might just be the game there. That's going to be pretty back-breaking. Relic is nice, too. Attack for 1. They could have a Fanatical now, so it won't be as bad for them, but this is still pretty strong for us, I think. And they do sack the bridge, take out the vault though, play our relic, and yeah, we can use more mana. Pass to them. We'll sack our landscape for some more blue, or white rather, and I'll just Galvanic Blast them. I know that more than likely this is the route we're going. I do need to be worried about, not worried, but aware of a Pulse of Marasa. They discard a Breath Weapon. Plains, let's Synth. Into a Glint Hawk is great. Let's attack first. Well, I was going to say in case of another Breath Weapon, but they don't have red for that. Either way, should not matter. Let's play the Glint Hawk. While you have a ton of mana, might as well just pick up a Synth, because it's cheaper. Another Galvanic is nice. I play Synth. If I get a red spell, it's actually a waste, and I don't want to waste any burn, so we're going to just Galvanic them, crack a clue. Thought cast. Sure, we'll cast that. And another bolt. So, yeah, this one's definitely going to be in the bag, I believe. Not to get too overconfident. They have an Eviscerator's Insight on the end step, and a Mountain. And Chrysalis is definitely going to be their doom. Let's just not dilly-dally, Galvanic Blast and Lightning Bolt them, and throw a bunch of creatures and artifacts at them. Alright, got game 2. Dust to Dust, obviously the MVP. Let's just try to do that again, I think. They're obviously going to try to keep a hand less susceptible to Dust, but they might also just be forced to. And we have another, this time we actually have a turn 3 Dust, plus a Cleansing Wildfire. This is probably the best hand we've seen all day. Our opponent on a mull to 6. Handy for us. Start with a bridge and pass. We have a Landscape and a Spell Bomb. Totally fine. Another Wildfire is not bad. We're going to just, we're just going to pull out our blue. I mean, part of me thinks, oh, maybe in case they have like an oof that they get here or cast into the fire, I should get another white so I can Dust to Dust them, but I think we just go for the blue, and worst case we can always Cleansing Wildfire into another white if we really need. Sack their Landscape for a forest. Mountain, oh look at that, they do have the oof on the Spell Bomb. Of course, they don't have 2 artifacts now to get rid of anyway, so it's less relevant, but it is annoying for sure. And I called it, kind of. Galvanic Blast, we're just keeping these for the burn, I think, which means we don't have a lot to do here. I don't really want to Wildfire ourselves. We could for the double white if they do play another land. Kind of also want to have a lot of red, though. Yeah, it's kind of tough. Could just Cleansing Wildfire them to cycle it, hit their forest, because they probably only have 2, so they'll have more trouble getting another. Or rather, they'll have trouble getting 2 green for like a Hydra or whatever. Yeah, not anything feels right here. And also, if we blow up our mountain to get a plains, and then we play a Great Furnace, and they are able to get rid of that, then we'll be off red, which I don't like. I guess I'm just going to hit their forest. I don't know. We don't really have anything good to play is the problem. I'm not going to Skyfisher and pick up a land here, especially when we're behind on a land. Galvanic's not bad, but we also need a lot more before we're anywhere close to burning them out. They have a refurb for 4, or for 3 is kind of fine. I could Dust to Dust those, but I need the double white, and I don't have that. I don't really want to discard a Skyfisher. I guess we are going to get rid of a Bolt here. Galvanic, they don't really have any 3 toughness stuff that the Bolt is more relevant right now, and if we use the Galvanics on them, then we're going to want to have them in the late game. And we get a Relic, which is a great draw. Because even if their bridge is good too, even if they're able to, destroy our land or whatever, we get a Fisher out and we're drawing 2 cards here. That was probably our best draw. And now they cast down. We're going to take 4. We could just do it again. We might have to discard at that point though. Inspector. Yeah, because if I Relic and then pick it back up, we're drawing 2. We're playing 1. So we're at 9, plus I play a bridge, so we would have to discard. Might just want to hold up a Galvanic at this point to shoot one of these 2. I could just Synth, and then maybe, I don't necessarily love it, but let's Synth. We get a Landscape, that's fine, we'll play that. Because now I can, Skyfisher doesn't really pick anything up. This can find our second white, so I can Dust to Dust these 2. So maybe I just Skyfisher to try to absorb some damage. No, but we have a Relic. I guess we just Inspector here, and then maybe I just chump? I don't know. We can figure it out, but I have a Clue to sack. Galvanic I can cast. We got some options. Yeah, maybe I should have just done this when they didn't have mana, because now I think I want to kill this oof, and then just take 2, because we can get rid of these 2. But if they now have a sack effect, it's not terrible for them, but they don't. Alright, we'll take 2. And they have a Lembas, okay. If they find another artifact land, we're going to take the 2 lands, but if they don't, we're going to take probably Familiar and Bridge. They put it on the bottom, and they whiff on lands, so we're going to sack the Landscape for a white. We're going to give them the old Dust to Dust treatment. Another Galvanic is good for that late game. We're going to take these out, attack for 1, play a Relic, and play a Bridge. And a Bolt. Alright, things are looking up now. They were a little touch and go there for a second, with the oof slowing us down, but we have 11 burn in hand, and they might be missing more lands. And off black is pretty good because that's their main color. All right, they're just passing back to us. Let's play a Skyfisher, pick up a Synth, get another Synth. We'll play that. We still have all of our mana colors. Glint Hawk. All right, we'll play that. Now we don't have any white mana, so I think I'll just pick up the Relic because I can also just replay it if I want, which I think I do because I don't think we're going to bolt this turn, and I would love to hit a land, but if we don't, that's fine. We hit them at 18. They're going to sack Lembas, so they're at 21. I can hit for 5 next turn. They're at 16. We have 11, so we need to find 5 damage somewhere. But they just concede. They're not hitting land drops, and Dust to Dust is the MVP. They show us 4 Chrysalis, and of course 3 black spells. Absolutely brutal. All right, this hand is bad, so we'll get rid of it. This one's not terrible. I think we'll keep it on 6. I don't want to get rid of the Relic, even though it's unplayable. I don't really want to get rid of a land or a Krark or basically anything. I'm going to get rid of the mountain because I am greedy, but it's possible maybe Bolt is the right choice. It's just fairies. Good to have Bolt for fairies. Same with Glint Hawk. Now I wish I got rid of the Shaman probably, but if we were against Red Rally, then I would obviously want the Shaman, so tough call. But double Bolt is not bad here though. They swing for 1 and just turn it into a Ninja of the Deep Hours, which is good with me. I can just bolt that down. Wildfire's not terrible, but gonna be hard to get it through a counterspell potentially. Oh, don't tell me they're gonna mutagenic this. I never play around the mutagenic because it doesn't see a ton of play in fairies anymore, but it used to. And every time they are still playing it, it gets me good. They play the Fairy Seer again, scry 2 to the top, and they have 1 up, so they could Spell Pierce me, but what else am I going to do but a Wildfire? I could just, like, Skyfisher, and then replay a land? That seems bad. So I think we're going to Wildfire. Oh, and it works instantly. Thank goodness. We're going to get our blue source, and alright. I would have loved another land there, but we'll take a Bolt. Augur of Bolas, okay. Not usually something you see in mono blue fairies. Is this potentially Dimir, or is it? Lorien revealed. Snow-covered islands are usually played in Izzet because they have Skred, but I just haven't seen anything that indicates that. Moonstruck Hacker is usually played mostly in mono blue. So, I don't know. Okay, here I could just Relic and then Glint Hawk it back. Then I could trade the Hawk for the Hacker, which I don't love. I could also just Bolt. I think Relic is the first thing for sure. And Furnace is a great draw because that lets me play that Glint Hawk, and I can still Bolt the Hacker, or I could Shaman. I might just Shaman just to trade, like not sack anything. I think that's better actually, because holding the bolts for the actual fairies is good. So this way I can block here. Kind of like that. Swinging with the Hacker, we're gonna just block. If they're fairies, I mean, which we obviously know they are in some capacity, then I just don't think that the Shaman's gonna be that helpful. Obviously against ninjas and augurs, but it's fine. They are in fact Izzet. That makes sense. 7 cards in hand. They're holding up Spell Stutter, but only for 1. And Relic, unlike Synth, is actually a 2-drop. Plus, we just have bolts, but I think we definitely just lead on not Synth, Relic here. They could also just have a counterspell, which I can't do anything about. But if they do that, I don't know. I play an Inspector, and I could like bolt the Augur if I really wanted. I don't think I want to though. I think I'd probably just Inspector can block Augur. I can swing with Glint Hawk. Looks like they're deciding whether they want to counter the Relic. I really don't want them to, because it's our only Relic and we have 2 Skyfishers, but they do. Well, that's sad. I could just core Skyfisher for no value. It's a good blocker, it's a good attacker, but I don't mind holding up a Lightning Bolt, and also I would like to get more value out of the Skyfisher. So we're just going to swing for 2 and pass. They preordain. All right, 2 to the top, another Augur. Obviously going to find something. Oh, did the first one not find anything? I didn't even clock that. Or no, I found the Lorien and I got rid of it. Okay, they Skred the bird. Rude. Do I want to bolt an Augur? Not really. We know they have a Fairy Seer and a Lightning Bolt in hand. I think it's fine. Synth is a great draw, and they're tapped out, so we're going to get some good value out of it ideally. Oh, let's see what's behind this. It's a Plains. Okay. Take a Plains. Let's just play that, and then we can fish back the Synth. Thought Cast is great. Loving this chain. And a Glint Hawk and a Makeshift. I think we just put the Makeshift down because it'll be real problematic for them. We want to get it past counterspells. They shouldn't have anything in their main deck that can deal with it, unless if maybe they're playing like a Boomerang or something. They bolt the Skyfisher so they can get in with an Augur, turn it into a Ninja. That is annoying. We did tap out like a fool, but that's okay. I think we're getting tons of value as well, that we're keeping up with them plenty. And this Makeshift is going to pretty much just turn off their fairies and their like spell stutters. And another Skyfisher. Music to my ears. Them tapping out, also music to my ears. Synth into a bridge. Okay, let's just Skyfisher. I guess I might as well just start with the Glint Hawk. See what we got. Synth into a Cryogen Relic. Okay, we can switch over to that then. Draw a card, play a bridge, and I probably just want to hold up something. I could just bolt the Ninja, because otherwise they're going to bolt the Glint Hawk, and then I have to chump. I have an Augur and a bolt in hand. I think we probably just bolt the Ninja now, and then pass. And then we can also, if they try to bolt one of these, I can throw it at the Fairies here. There's the Augur. Hit a Preordain. They've been missing land drops, which is pretty nice. Preordain, they're probably going to find one at this point, but yes, there it is. But us being quite a bit up on mana is pretty nice. They do, in fact, go for the bolt on the Glint Hawk. So we're going to throw that at the Fairies here, and then we can block here. And they concede. I mean, they could potentially still fight this, but we were way ahead. So that's feeling great. Also, with 2 more Skyfishers in hand, felt amazing. Pyroblasts are pretty much all we got. Often Izzet Faeries will play 1 or 2 terrors, but not enough for relics to come in, and also not frequently enough or consistently enough for me to definitively put them in. They are red, so I could put in blue blasts because they're going to have Screds and bolts. They're probably not going to bring in red blasts, and if they are, I think that's a little foolish because we only have. They don't know how many we're playing, but obviously we have 4 relics for Thoughtcast, so I probably don't need these for that. Krark, honestly, with Augurs, Moon-Circuit Hackers, and Ninja of the Deep Hours, maybe they're not terrible, but I still don't really like them. Specters are good because they block ninjas and things like that, so we're keeping those in. Makeshift is great. All of our burn is great. There's nothing to cut here is the problem. I think it might just be... Yeah, we're only bringing in 3 cards. I think it's Krarks and a Thoughtcast. I think those are our most expendable. We have 11 ways to blow up. At least 11 ways to blow up like ninjas and stuff, so I don't think we need the Krarks. It was fine where it was, but it ended up, like when we played it, but it ended up just trading in the same way a Pyroblast would have. So this hand is fine, and we're going to keep it for sure. In fact, it's good if we can get this Cleansing Wildfire through. They have a Bountiful Landscape. I mean, probably not playing green. I assume it's just for the cycling, or the... You know, a lot of 2-color decks just play these. Another Skyfish is a good draw, or at least a good card. I don't know if it's a good draw. We definitely need to hit a land drop. They do find an island, scry 2 to the top with the Preordain. Play an island and pass. Yeah, I don't love that, because they could have the Spell Pierce or a Blue Blast, but that's going to hit it regardless. Theoretically, they could have a Steel Sabotage in response. That would be brutal. But what else are we doing? 3rd Skyfisher, not really where I want to be. We're just going for it. And they have the Hydra. Yep. I mean, that's the best case scenario for us with them countering it, because that was going to get it regardless at some point. They play Fairy Miscreant. Interesting. Land drop. Relic. I think land drop is important enough. We're going to go for the Synth here. This gets countered. It's fine. Don't love it. It does. But our alternative was Skyfisher for a land and can't even play like an Inspector after that, so I didn't love that either. They're swinging for 1, but they have the Ninja. Okay, well, this can trade off there. It's our best draw. I mean, Silver Bluff is pretty good. Cycle Lorien and Cast Into the Fire. Well, that's pretty bad now. Oh, we got a Great Furnace. I guess we're just cracking a clue. Cast, definitely brutal. They have a Brainstorm. Now our best draw is White-Blue Bridge, but we don't play any of those in the deck, so that's not happening. We will trade here. They have an Augur. We're just cracking a clue. Galvanic's not what we need. They got another Lorien and an Island, and another Cast Into the Fire. Oof. And then they have a Lorien to refill. We got Silver Bluff. And we don't have Galvanic on the Augur, unfortunately. So they have a Lorien and a Miscreant. Yeah, Lorien's pretty good. Man, I wish this was a Pyroblast, because we could absolutely come back into this if we stopped that. We still maybe can, but they need to draw pretty poorly. There's the Miscreant, which I think maybe I just blast now, because we're going to be tapped out a lot of turns. So yeah, I'll give it a go. White Bridge would be amazing here. Cleansing Wildfire, I'll take. That gets us our white source. Ideally draws us another land too. And it does, okay. That was a great draw. If we can start Relic into Skyfishing, maybe we have a shot here. They do have a Ninja. A little annoying. We killed the Miscreant, so they just have an Augur that we know about. 4 other cards, though. Tough spot. There's a Preordain. One to the top. They play a Fjord. They have a Gorilla Shaman. Okay. They do not like us right now. In that case, I'm going to Skyfisher. Oh, they could have Counterspell. Well, we can't do anything about that. I'm going to Skyfisher to try to pick up Plains and then Relic, as opposed to Relic and hope for a land drop. That resolves. That's good for us. I could do another Skyfisher. I think we got to get a Relic down, though. Yeah, they probably have a Bolt for this. Synth is not amazing at the moment. And if they want to spend 5 mana to blow up our Relic, that's fine. No, they want to spend 5 to Lorien. That's less fine. I'd rather they did not do that. Have the Bolt. Swing for 3. They get to loot. They have another Ninja, too. Oh my gosh. Well, now they are rolling in it. Things were going okay for a bit, but taking a bad turn for the worse. They discard the Gorilla Shaman, I guess because it's not useful anymore. How rude of them. I could just double Skyfisher. I might need to double Skyfisher now, but I have to pick up a land to do that. That lets me block, though, through 1 bolt. Yeah, I think that's kind of necessary. Stop what they're doing. If we have any shot of getting back into this. Glint Hawk is... I mean, I could Synth into a Glint Hawk. That would allow me to keep my land. Obviously, Synth would just be a waste, unless I hit a Glint Hawk off the top. But not setting me back a land could be kind of nice. This just trades for one of these. Just kind of annoying, though. Oh, but I think keeping the land down is really good. Okay, well, we hit an Inspector, so that's actually not terrible. So, because we can trade that for this guy. Of course, if they bolt this, then this can't trade for this. But what are you going to do? We will trade here. Take 2. Miscreant, another Miscreant. An island. Please don't cast into the Fire My Bridge. They have a Shaman. Yeah, they're going to eat a clue. Maybe the Synth? No. All right. I guess they could eat the Synth in response to me playing a Glint Hawk. That'd be pretty rude, though. They would never do that, right? What are we doing? I think we got to get down Glint Hawk and Skyfisher. Maybe if they're running out of bolts, use just 2 bolts and 2 casts. If they run out of bolts, maybe we can get them. All right, let's start with the Skyfisher. If they blow this up in response, I can just pick up a land. They Spell Stutter. Well, ain't that unfortunate. Glint Hawk. They have another one. All right, they absolutely wrecked me. Nice. Let's try to not let that happen. Also, let's try to see... I know there's only 3 of you, but come on. Cut me some slack here. Maybe I should have brought the Krarks back in, though, because they have Augurs, Ninjas, more Ninjas, and also Gorilla Shamans. Okay, this hand is okay. It's not amazing, but it's less susceptible to Casting the Fire, which I like. And it gets just some guys down early, which I like, too. Galvanic. We're just gonna Skyfisher the Inspector. They got a Miscreant. Don't tell me they got another one. Oh, can you be any luckier? We got Landscape. I think I need to play that to get our red. Holding Skyfisher back. And Inspector doesn't even block, so I think we just hold up Clue to crack. I kind of don't want to crack it because I want to leave Affinity for Thought casts, but also I kind of do want to crack it for card draw, obviously. Scred is annoying. But also, if they get a Gorilla Shaman, I don't want to have too many cheap artifacts on the field. Swing with their Miscreants. Have a Ninja. We'll draw a card and sack our Landscape for red. Yeah, so they get to draw another off the Miscreant. That's pretty annoying. Kind of want to get munitions down, but I don't think I can afford to. I think I just need to blast this. I kind of need to play Synth, too. I can wait, I guess, on Synth. Mana efficiency is tough, though, because if I blast this, I want to play an Inspector, but then I have to play this if I want to play the Clue, but I really want to get this bridge down. I guess I could just play Inspector, and it could block, then I could crack a Clue. That's not really where I want to be at. But then, yeah, I think we're just blasting the Ninja. Got to keep that under control. Glint Hawk's going to wait, because we want to use that on the Synth, and I want to get the bridge down for the Synth. So we're just doing this. A little mana inefficient, but I think it's the best play. Of course, they have their Miscreant, which draws them another card. I mean, I don't really want to see a ninja, but also if they tap lower here, it's not terrible. They do have the hacker, but then they can play the miscreant again. Draw a million. Or they just have like a cast. Yeah. Man, they're really pissing me off with those casts. I definitely didn't dust to dust my opponent into the ground last match. All right, we're going to play a synth, even though we can't get a red spell off of it. Get an inspector. I'll play that. Play the Ancient Den. That gives me Thoughtcast for 1. And Glinthawk back the synth for a blocker for the fairy. I waste the synth, but I think I want the blocker. Yeah, let's just do that. I guess I'll attack. I think the chances that they have a bolt and 2 red for this and then also cast 1 on this are very low, so I think this is an easy trade anyway. Another miscreant, of course. There's the Scred. Weird trading. No ninja this time is nice, but it's going to be hard to get anything past, and we're only on 1 red. Oh my gosh, because I need this makeshift down, and I need bolt to make my other stuff resolve. Well, we're playing a ninja, not a ninja, that's them. We're playing an inspector to see if we can bait a spell stutter, and that did not work. Play an Ancient Den, crack a clue. Well, there's a second red, I guess. Swing with the inspector. I'm not just going to play one of these into a spell stutter or counterspell, so we're going to pass here. They brainstorm, sack the landscape. They have a Crimson Fleet Commodore. Well, I can't do anything about that right now, but I can lightning bolt this at the end step. So again, mana inefficient, but we don't have that much red. I could just draw. I think we're gonna draw. They probably have a counter spell for this bolt. Galvanic's not bad though. All right, let's play this. They have a spell stutter. I mean, they have. I can kill this Commodore, and then they have to block. Yeah, let's bolt this. And then if they double, a double block is fine. Oh, but then if they have a cast in the fire, kill both our guys. It's kind of bad. Oof. Don't love that. Maybe I just blast one of these miscreants so we take the Monarch. Yeah, then if they have like a spell stutter, it's not amazing, but they could double block. They still have to chump one. I think, honestly, I feel like that's their plan, because that would be a pretty good plan. And we don't have any more creatures, so casting the fire seems pretty bad there. They do block, and then bolt the other. Well, can't do anything about that. I guess they were going to double block one, so maybe it still worked, I guess. We have no more reds, so we're going to crack this, see if we draw anything. Thoughtcast, we can cast that. Okay, not amazing, but maybe we can take the Monarch and then get back into this. Preordain. They bottomed the first 2. Topped 1 there. Yep, they found their Augur for a bolt. Yeah, it's going to keep the Monarch and a Fairy Miscreant. Well, we're going to synth, see if they got anything for that. Nope. Cleansing Wildfire. I guess we cast that on our bridge. Hope they don't have a cast in the fire in response. Oh, look at that. They were way too giddy to do that. And they're tapped out, but we don't have any way to take advantage of that, so we gotta pass. Bolt our guy. They have the ninja for the Augur. I feel like they have everything they need at all times. Kind of tough to deal with. Replay the Augur. They whiff on that one. Off the Monarch. Inspector. Let's play that, see if that eats like a spell stutter or anything. Just a counter spell, sure. I think now is the time to get a munitions down. It's not great. It doesn't take it's not amazing. It doesn't take the Monarch back, but it stops their aggression. I can kill these 2. Problem is if I play it now and they counterspell it, we're kind of toast. If I play a synth first, maybe they counterspell that, but then we don't have red. We get something red, I can't play both it and the munitions. I think it's fine. I think we synth first. That just resolves right away. We get an inspector. Well, we're gonna play this munitions. That is good, okay. Then an inspector, okay. Munitions could help us get back into this. They could definitely get a blue blast, so it's not like definitely gonna be around. They have a Lorien, that's annoying. Always have what they need. Ninja and Fairy Miscreant. Well, I'm not blocking the ninja here. I don't think I want to sack this clue. I think we're sacking a land here, picking off this hacker. Maybe I do sack the clue since the synths can draw and get me a 2/2. I want to keep the inspector around. But I don't want any more ninjas coming down, so yeah, we'll sack the clue here. Another Augur, okay. Hydroblast, well there goes the munitions. It wasn't terrible taking out 2 guys, but obviously we would have liked more, and that's not anything at all. Sack a synth, get another synth, I guess. See what that turns up. Cryogen Relic, I mean, that's playable. Skyfisher's good. Ugh, they've just had the Monarch too long, though. I don't really see us getting out of this. They bolt our guy, swing, looks like they got another ninja. I feel like this is a matchup we should be okay against because we have a lot of flyers, we have a lot of removal, but they are just stomping all over us. Replay the Augur, get a Hydroblast, Hydro Synth, sure. Or Glint Hawk, that's annoying. I would have loved that. I mean, we're gonna play a Skyfisher. They got the counterspell. It's not great. They don't. Pick up a Synth. Glint Hawk is good. Let's Synth again. Wildfire. Play the Glint Hawk. A Spell Stutter that. Yep, that's gonna work. And play a Great Furnace. We're gonna try to Cleansing Wildfire this bridge. See if they have the cast into the fire. They don't. We get another Plains. Skyfisher. Yeah, we tapped white for it, which is not great. So I think I'm gonna just keep this ninja tapped. Sack the relic, because we already have a synth. I'd rather them not draw another card off of that when they probably inevitably bolt our Skyfisher. Another Lorien revealed. Yep. Still haven't seen a Pyroblast. All match. And there's the inevitable removal spell. And a cast into the fire for the synth is pretty annoying. We kind of needed that. There's a Miscreant. Swing for one. We got a bolt. Alright. We're going to Skyfisher. Pick up this Inspector, unless they spell stutter us, or just counterspell us. I should have cycled this in response, because it's possible we would have gotten a Pyro Blast. We did not. We got a Cleansing Wildfire. We have 1 Plains left in our deck. Take that. Cryogen Relic. And they're gonna draw a card off the Ninja. We both have 16 cards in our deck. That's crazy. I'm just gonna Relic. Mana efficiency. Maybe there's a world where we chain together. I mean, we've only seen 3 burn spells. We could chain together a bunch of burn spells. Oh, well, they get to blow up 3 of our lands. That's not really going to help. We'll take the damage, and they got the bolt. Okay, well, we just got stomped by them, unfortunately. But that happens sometimes. On the play here, not great. We don't have a bridge. I will say the general, what people follow is 8 bridges for the Wildfires. I feel like maybe we need more. I thought about upping it to about 10, but it's just so many tap lands. But we've had so many games where we've not been able to have a bridge for this Wildfire, so maybe we need more. I'm going to keep it. We have Inspector on 1 and Crack the Clue on 2, if nothing else. And then we have a Wildfire on one of our own lands, just to turn it into maybe blue for a relic or something. I don't know. It's not amazing, I will admit. But we'll play an Inspector and we'll pass. Volatile Fjord. Well, I kind of hope we're not against Fairies again, because that was not my favorite match. Yeah, we're just going to pass. It was interesting. I just didn't have a great time because they had everything. Could just be Izzet Terror, though. We're going to pass. Although with 2 men up, I mean, I got to assume counter spells, but specifically maybe Spell Stutter, although they end up pondering. Crack a Clue, Synth, and there's a bridge. They could have a Spell Pierce, but when God gives you bridges, you make bridge and aid. Oh, they lightning bolt this guy. That's great. I don't care enough about that guy, and I care much more about this. We're going to get our blue source. Another Fjord and an Augur. Whiff on the Augur, because Augur sucks. All right, let's play a Synth. Core Skyfisher is great. I guess on the off chance we hit like a Thought Cast or something, I should just play a land first. Of course, if we hit a land, it's a waste, but whatever. We hit a Glint Hawk. Also possible I should have just Reliced first and then picked that up with the Skyfisher. I can Glint Hawk now. Nothing to pull back. Also, I probably should have waited on this Skyhawk. It's so tough to know sequencing in this deck. But now Thoughtcast is 2 mana, so I can't actually Thoughtcast and Glint Hawk. I don't want to waste the Glint Hawk. I think we're playing it, but then I have to pick up a land, which I don't love, and then I'm wasting this mana, which I don't love either. But I think it's worth it even just for a 2/2 flyer. So we'll pick up this bridge, or den, rather. Especially if they are fairies, which I'm still not sure about. I would prefer to have as many flyers as possible. Although Ponder makes me think probably Terror, just because you kind of get your Ponders through Fairy Seer already. They just pass after that. Another Skyfisher. All right, I'll Synth. They have a Spell Stutter. It's not a big deal because I can then just Relic. Or I could even Galvanic Blast it. But if not, it's just good value. Lightning Bolts. I could take care of the Augur. If they don't have ninjas, I don't really care about the Augur. But I can't really know if they have ninjas. Let's just go ahead and bolt the Augur. We'll just take it off the table. Or see if they care about that at all. And then, oh, they counterspell it. I'm very okay with that. I think we can just swing, and then I can Relic, and then Glint Hawk the Relic back. They bolt a Skyfisher too. That's fine by me. Yeah, so let's Ancient Den, play a Relic, pick it back up with the Glint Hawk. Now we still have a blocker if they do have a Ninja. If they bolt it and then Ninja, that's pretty much their whole turn. And we also have way more cards than them at the moment. So I think we're in a good spot. They Brainstorm. They do bolt the Glint Hawk. Then cycle an Ash Barrens. Clear the Brainstorm for an island. I feel like they're going to Ninja, because otherwise they wouldn't really care that much about getting in with the Augur. But I guess if they're going to kill a Glint Hawk anyway, might as well. But indeed, they have the Hacker. So that's one Augur we know about in hand. Munitions is good, especially if we think they're fairies. I think we just start with a Fisher, pick up the Synth, see where that takes us. To a Bolt. Okay. I think we're going to get the Makeshift down. If they have a Spell Pierce here, they can't use it on the Makeshift, so this should be good. Then I don't even think I care about bolting their Hacker, because we're just going to have blockers for it, plus I can Munitions it for 1. And then I'd like to, so I'd just like to burn their face. So we'll hit them for 3, hit them for 2. They're down to 12. We have a Galvanic, puts them at a virtual 8, plus a Makeshift. We should be able to get them in a couple turns, if not just the next one. They have a Mystic. That is good. Luckily, we should be able to just go around it with the Munitions. Another Glint Hawk. Yeah, let's just start with the attack so that if they have a Spell Pierce or any sort of counterspell or bolt or anything, yeah, they're just going to get it out of the way. Scred on the Fisher. So I could throw that at them. I could throw it at the bird so that they take 2 off the Hawk in case they want to chump. I could also just kill the Mystic if I want to throw the Galvanic at it. Currently, we haven't played a land, so we could have 7 mana. Bolt. If they take the Glint Hawk and we Galvanic, that would be lethal if they don't chump. If we have 7 non-land permanents, which is 7 artifacts or creatures, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, we're gonna, on the off chance that they make a mistake, we're gonna throw the Skyfisher at them. Because if they don't block with the bird here, we can actually just kill them. And they don't. So, we can just Galvanic Blast them for 4, and then Munitions them for lethal. Throwing away everything we got. Alright. So, we didn't actually see any fairies, but I would assume that if they're playing Moon Circuit Hackers, they're probably playing fairies. So I think this is just the salty run back, I guess, for us. It's Kark worth it. Now for ninjas, augurs, potentially gorilla shamans, and murmuring mystics. I mean, sacrificing 5 for a mystic's not great, but if we have to, obviously it's nice to have that option. Pyroblast can just do that. I think we're still cutting these. Alright, this hand is probably going to lose to a Cast Into the Fire, but I'm not in the business of throwing away a hand like this. They start on a red. Probably just have an Ash Barrens right away. Turn into an island. There it is. We do get another Wildfire. Don't do it. Don't do it. They didn't do it. And the question is, are they getting greedy and they want us to Wildfire it? And the answer is, I think we got to do it anyway. I could just Relic. It's a lot safer. It could get red blasted, but they're probably not playing that because we're so light on blue. So it's a lot safer there. Could still get Spell Pierced. And then we could Glint Hawk next turn. I think we're going to Relic. 90% of the time, I'm going to Wildfire here, and that's usually what I want to follow. And I think if they had the Cast of the Fire, they probably would have used it. But if we go for a Wildfire on the bridge and they exile it, we probably just lose the game. And we don't actually have that bad of a play here. If we Relic and then next turn Glint Hawk it back, we get a Glint Hawk down, maybe we draw into it. If they tap out, I'll Wildfire for sure. But part of my soul hurts not going for the Wildfire there, because if we miss our land drop, it's going to be really rough. But I just chickened out a little bit. Now they have Spell Stutter up, which makes it really annoying. Because we have Glint Hawk, but we can't also Galvanic. And we can Wildfire, which uses up more mana. Either one gets taken out by a Spell Stutter now. So both of them are so rough. but I think we want to be mana efficient. I think we're going to Cleansing Wildfire. I assume they don't have the Cast of the Fire. If they Spell Stutter or Spell Pierce, we're fine. Hydroblast, same thing. I mean, if it was only Hydroblast, maybe Glint Hawk would have been better, but who knows. Cycle a Lorien, get a Fjord, and an Augur. For a Skred. Okay, they are tapped out. We can Wildfire in peace. Land would be nice. I would prefer an untapped land, but I'm not going to complain. They have 4 cards. Yeah, we definitely just need to get our mana going. On the off chance we draw like an untapped red or white source, I'm going to do this first. Do we want more white for the Hawk? I mean, I guess we're getting another white and red anyway, so 3 red or 3 white. 3 red, probably. They take out a bridge. No, I think 3 red is right. All right, and then we get a bridge. All right. We're in an okay spot, but depending on what they do here, ninjas, and then holding up counterspell-wise, we could be in a tough spot. No ninja's good. Another Augur is fine. Them tapping out of double blue is kind of throwing me for a loop. Maybe they want double bolt up, but the chances that they want to bluff counterspell are higher. They could cast into the fire. We're not as wrecked by it now. We certainly couldn't go for another Cleansing Wildfire if we wanted, though. And if I go for just a Glint Hawk, they're going to get rid of the Relic. So I think we Synth first. So we have 2 options to pick back up. And Synth into a Pyroblast. I mean, not really looking great, unfortunately. Probably just eating like a Fairy Seer. Let's just play Glint Hawk. I guess I can... Yeah, we're going to Glint Hawk here. See if they want to do anything in response. They Spell Stutter. Well, we have the Pyro, so I think we will use that. Counter target spell if it's blue. So not bad getting that Pyro after all. Now we're picking up the Relic because Synth, we can't play anything white off of it, and we would have hit a white spell. And then we play a Great Furnace. They still have a Skred and a Cast of the Fire. We're gonna Thought Cast and just Galvanic one of their guys while we have some mana. Probably an Augur. I guess Fairy Seer, just so that they have 2 Augurs, so if they're going to ninja one, they're going to be able to do it anyway, and I'd rather get the Fairy Seer off so that the next Spell Stutter sprite is only 1 for 1. They bolt the Glint Hawk, so keeping the Skred, so we know 2 of their 4 cards. They attack for 2. They don't have a ninja. Okay. We have a Galvanic if they do have a Spell Stutter, so I think we just start with a Glint Hawk. I can't use this Cleansing Wildfire. Maybe I just want to... No, yeah, let's start with a Glint Hawk. We need more lands for sure, and I'm glad they haven't taken away a land. I guess they can... Oh, I did make the mistake of they can take out the Synth here, and I'll have to pick up a mountain. So got a little caught up in that, but it's not the end of the world, honestly. That's fine. We still get the trigger. Maybe it's something good. Plains. I mean, I'll take the land. Let's float a red because we're picking up this Great Furnace now. Pick that up. Play a Plains. I mean, I don't love it, but it's okay. And actually now I can Cleansing Wildfire, which I do think we want to do. So I do that, and then I can Inspector and Relic. Let's Cleansing first. I mean, if they have a Hydro, it's fine. As long as we're not losing our land as well as the Cleansing, I'm good with that. Do we want another blue over a white? Yeah, I think another blue is not bad. Skyfisher or Inspector. Playing an Inspector regardless. The question is Relic or Fisher. I think it's just Relic. I mean, I think we're in a good spot now. They have 3 cards, and we now have enough lands that even if they take one out, it's not a big deal, and we just have stuff flowing. They do Brainstorm here. Certainly if they find a ninja, they can Skred the Glint Hawk, maybe even kill the Inspector, and they can ninja. But then we can just Skyfisher the Relic, and it might be okay. I don't know. There's the Skred. Goodbye, Hawk, my boy. We're going to block 1. They don't have a ninja, so that's great. All right, 2 cards in hand, and we got a Synth. Let's just... Synth. So many cards. What do we do with that all? Sure, let's start with the Synth. They have the Spell Stutter. I don't honestly care about that too much, but I think I'll Galvanic just to see if they want to like fight over this. And then maybe we get like a makeshift down if they have like another or something. And if not, Synth resolves, and that's good too. Cool. We get a Great Furnace. Let's cast a Skyfisher. Pick up the Synth because we still got enough mana to play with whatever. Another bridge is fine. So Sure. Let me just get down another Skyfisher, pick up the Relic. Unless they have another Cast in the Fire. They scred. That's totally fine. All right, they are out of cards, and we have a bajillion. Play a bluff, and we'll pass. I think we are doing all right here. They are swinging with both. I could double block, but I'd rather just not see a ninja. And if they have like a Cast in the Fire to finish off this Skyfisher, that wouldn't even finish it off. But even if they could, I don't care too much. Let's synth. See if we draw a counter spell or something. And they concede. Yeah, we had a million things going for us. Just oodles of value. And get a nice 4-1. All right, this deck felt pretty good in some ways. Obviously feels somewhat like a Boros synthesizer. Having Relic is really nice because there were times right at the end, there's often, there's like, you have 2 mana left, you pick up a synthesizer with your Glint Hawk, you have 1 mana and you just hope to hit a 1-drop, and then you hit a 2-drop and it's a waste. It's nice in those instances to just pick up the Relic. But synthesizer is cheaper, so when you have the mana, I think playing synthesizer is almost always right. So Relic is honestly not the star of the show still. It's still a synth deck, but Relic is still quite good. Obviously the ability to sack itself for cheaper than the synth and an instant speed is not irrelevant either. But playing an extra color is absolutely a real cost. Not only do we just sometimes not be able to play our spells, but also not having more lands that tap for both your colors, or like lands that ping your opponent, or abraded bluffs and things like that. All of that's relevant. Although an upside is having landscapes. We get a lot of lands in this deck. I think Cleansing Wildfire was definitely the right way to take this. We just had almost every game that we won, we just had so many cards. And even with Wildfires in the games that we hit 2 or 3 of them, we still never ran out of value. So I absolutely think that if you play this, you want the Wildfires. But to be honest, I almost think it's too much value. The reason that I really wanted to do Esper Cryoblade was that I felt like White-Black had a lot of nice removal, a nice synergy there, but it doesn't have the most card draw. Back when Deadly Dispute was legal, we played that a little bit, or at least I played that. But to be honest, it never really felt amazing in that shell. Because you don't really have anything you want to sacrifice. Sacrificing an Inspector or maybe a Clue is like okay, but it's just not really amazing. And I think Relic fits very nicely into that. I'm still working on that shell, of course, but I think that it fits nicely there because we didn't have that value package. In this deck, in Boros Synth, you already have that value package, that this feels almost unnecessary. And maybe it's partially because I also threw Thoughtcast in here, but I didn't really know what other blue cards I should include. Maybe there's some hidden gems that I haven't noticed. And of course, Thoughtcast is just great. It honestly was not a bad card at all, but we just had so many cards and didn't know what to do with it. As always, I love a Makeshift Munitions in any deck that's playing a bunch of artifact lands, and also any creatures or whatever that's making multiple permanents. Makeshift was an MVP a couple of times. Having the Krarks in the main deck absolutely saved us in a couple of matches, so I'm very happy with those. Being able to just go for the burn win is absolutely sweet. So this deck wasn't as bad as I thought. I kind of goldfished it a lot, and it felt terrible, and I was worried that it was just going to be absolutely terrible, but I was actually really, really happy with it. Sideboard definitely could use some work, but honestly, it's not bad. Dust to Dust was amazing against Jund. Blue Blast was good against Red and saved us a game there. Pyroblast, if we ever saw them, actually it was good when we spell stuttered. We counted that one spell stutter. Relic didn't come up. Maybe this could be something else. Thraben Charm is, of course, a card that I thought about. I just figured the artifact was probably better because not only can you pick it up with a Glint Hawk or a Skyfisher, but if you turn it up with a synthesizer, it's cheaper and you can use it at a later time, as opposed to having to Thraben Charm their graveyard right then, if that's what you want it for. I think it's probably better. And the Navigator's Compass is quite good. Maybe you need more of them. Kind of hard in 3 colors with such good sideboard options to pick what you want in the sideboard. But definitely a lot of sweet options. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my patrons, including my $10 patrons, Howard Granger, Lars, JMW, Josh Greninger, and Rafa Rodriguez. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all next time.